Well, friends, that is my first time ever trying out the Steel Eagle 107 Charlie Delta class by Tops Knives. And it's chopped it up and set it on fire just like I knew it would. The Steel Eagle was the first production knife by Tops Knives. It's what got it all started. And man, what a way to start. So who is the Steel Eagle for? Well, first and foremost, it's for YouTubers who want to tell you how well it performs before they even try the damn thing. It's for collectors and Tops fanboys like myself who want to get in on the first production knife by the company. That's the reason why I bought it. But it's also for those people who want a more traditional style knife, a knife that is going to be easier to sharpen than, say, a larger knife than the Tracker or the SXB with that quarter round here and the big belly. It's for people who want a workhorse of a knife that they can carry on their belt and always have with them. Maybe you don't want to carry a heavy duty belt knife and then another knife in your pack. I believe the Steel Eagle is the knife for those people as well. But it's also for those people who want just one single solid heavy duty knife that they can rely on. One tool option that they're never going to have to spend more money on in order to upgrade it. I think all of those people would greatly benefit with this Steel Eagle. So let's talk about the features and the performance of the Steel Eagle. The Steel Eagle is more of a traditional looking knife. It does not have that big round belly and the quarter round like the Tracker and the SXB has. It's, a 7-inch blade, not super huge, but not small either. It's made out of 1/4 inch high carbon steel, 1095 stock, micarta handle, which is pretty much all the rage these days. Good solid grip, easy to sharpen, easy to maintain. Even for a beginner, this knife is going to be much easier to sharpen than some of your larger choppers. It performs just like a 7-inch blade, 1/4 inch stock of high carbon steel. It's not as good of a chopper as some of the larger knives, the Tracker, the Kumatakri, the SXB, but that's because it's not a large chopper. It does not have that big round belly under here. So, of course, it's not going to perform as well as a larger knife is going to. It's not a machete. It's not a Skull Crusher Extreme Blade. It performs as well as any other knife of similar size and shape. The big difference between the Steel Eagle 107 Charlie and the Tracker or the SXB or the Kumatakri 3.5 or any of those other larger choppers is that this is a belt-friendly, heavy-duty, reliable knife. Whereas the other ones, man, if you're carrying those around, you're going to be the subject of every single 911 call every time you run across Karen on the sidewalk. What I like about this Steel Eagle is that it is a belt-friendly middleweight that's ready for heavy duty, and at 7 inches long with the blade at 7 inches, it's legal in most states. Now, you can get this knife in a 5-inch blade if that's what you need in order to comply with your local laws. This Steel Eagle 107 Charlie is also ready and able to do those finer tasks. Try cutting the butt out of a deer with a Tracker. As I mentioned earlier, because the Steel Eagle is more of a traditional style blade without that quarter round and the draw blade with the big belly down here like the Tracker style knives, it's going to be a lot easier for those of you who are maybe just getting into the outdoors. You're just learning how to use a knife, how to sharpen a knife and maintain it. That quarter round on those tracker style knives is going to be kind of a bear for you to learn how to sharpen. This is a very traditional style blade, very easy sharpening. You can do this with a stone all day long. No problem at all maintaining this knife. The Steel Eagle class also offers a Tonto tip, which will have, I'll show a screenshot right here, but it's just going to have essentially two straight portions of the same blade. So you don't have to deal with learning how to run your stone or your jig, if that's what you use. You don't have to worry about learning how to run your stone around this contour here. Really, really easy to just sharpen two relatively straight portions of the same blade. Very, very good knife. Very good option for beginner knife sharpeners. The Tonto blade is not going to be as good of a chopper because of that secondary point down here, right here. But if you're looking for a one-tool option and you're not a professional knife sharpener, then maybe the Tonto tip is the one you want to go for. So what's missing from the 107 Charlie? Well, personally, I would like to see a little bit larger extended tang. In item descriptions, when you go and look at this knife online, even the Tops website, it calls this full tang. It's actually an extended tang. You can see right there, the steel does extend just beyond the scales. Technically, that is an extended tang. I would prefer a slightly larger extended tang. Now, you saw earlier in the video that I was able to stab down in the material and do vertical batoning this way. That's what I like an extended tang for, among other things. This is enough of an extended tang that it allowed me to do that. And that just comes in handy for when you're going to pry something apart, when you're going to pry that log apart or whatever the case it is. Next, I would like to see a spear point where the point comes symmetrically in line with the center of the rest of the tool. The Surtac 7 had it years ago. That was a similar knife to this, but Tops discontinued the Surtac years ago. I just prefer a spear point over pretty much any other point. That's all. No big deal. But the clip point, awesome for this knife. Also, because I really enjoy practicing bow and drill friction fires, I would like to see a spindle divot somewhere near the center point, the balance point of this knife. However, it does feature that fuller right there. And you saw earlier that I put the spindle right inside the end of that fuller and used that fuller as my bearing block to press down on the spindle when I produce the ember. And I can hear the comments now. That's not what that blood groove is for. That fuller is only there to strengthen the blade. I hear you, man. But that's not what Fatwood's for either. But there sure are 1,000 YouTubers out there carving Fatwood blocks for bearing blocks. So whatever, use it the way it's going to work for you. That's what I say. Other than that, I believe that the Steel Eagle 107 Charlie is a very, very good option for that one tool that you're going to carry every day. It'll ride on your belt, and it doesn't require you to be a knife sharpening expert, and it doesn't require you to spend a whole bunch of money later on an upgraded knife. That makes it one of those buy once, cry once, budget-friendly, everyday tools.